All right, thank you, Delano. Now on Bounce, if you're a tax preparation agent is taking shortcuts, it could be putting you at risk for theft. Tonight we have Tony Proctor here to share details and insight into what you can do to avoid being in this situation. He's the owner of Proctor and Associates here in Charlotte. Welcome, Tony.
Thank you.
Glad that you're here for us tonight. I know we're getting into your busy season,
yes,
so thanks for carving out some time for us. First up, how can people choose the right tax preparation partner?
First is just asking questions, ensuring that the relationship works, because it's a partnership. So making sure that they understand your particular situation, also understanding how they function, because there are some people who prepare returns who may not go about doing it the right way. And one thing to know is that you are responsible for your return.
Yeah, ultimately.
I as preparer, I do have some responsibility, but it is your return.
Okay. What are some warning signs or red flags that we should look out for? Things to say, maybe I need to go in a different direction.
The first thing I usually say is do a Google search. It's simple. And so if the person who's preparing your returns, there's something out there that's not quite right, the spidey senses go off, then maybe it's time to turn the other way. Also checking credentials. That's critical.
And I guess the BBB as well, to see if there would be any, issues if anything came up?
Yeah, checking Better Business Bureau as well as IRS website.
Okay.
Because they do post information about credentials and about any history on tax preparers.
What advice do you have when it comes to working with firms and agencies?
Just having that open communication, understanding what's going on, also knowing what the preparer is doing. So if they say, oh, well, I can fudge a little here or there to make it better for you, okay, it may feel good now, but later on,
it could come back to haunt you. And we know that Uncle Sam always gets his man.
He will get his.
Yeah, or a woman, whatever the case may be.
So true.
Let's talk about ways to maximize our tax return refunds.
Yes, ma'am. So the first thing is usually the filing status. That's at the beginning of the return. And so understanding how that works for you. A lot of folks don't understand that if you're married at the end of the year, usually you have either married filing joint or married filing separate status. And married filing joint is usually going to be the best way to go. It's a very small percentage where it may not be, but that's usually the best. So having that communication. Also, paying attention to where you pay some of your expenses. So at the end of the year, if you pay your property taxes, real estate, as long as you pay them before the end of the year, 12/31, then you can claim them on this year's return. So just being strategic with that.
What else are things that people need to keep in mind? Because I feel like you need to start getting all your paperwork, your receipts together. And do you kind of need to have all of that together and the totals ready to go before you sit down with your preparer?
That's usually best. Having all that together. And sometimes we have the shoebox clients. They come in, everything's just kind of thrown in there, all the gas receipts, the hair receipt, receipts and all of that. But if you have it listed out that these expenses apply to the home, like if you have a rental property, having all of that lined up for property A, property B, having it all together, it can be calculated. But if you've kind of done that due diligence before, then it cuts back on the time as well as the bill.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
There you have it. Anything else that you want to add that you want folks to know?
Just being aware of credentials. That's critical.
That's your number one thing.
Yeah. At my firm, Proctor & Associates, we make sure that we do continuing ed all the time, making sure that we stay up, because tax law changes all the time. And so making sure that we stay on top of what's new, and how it can impact our clients and what's best to do so that they can get the best return.
Okay.
Yes,
if you are looking for a new tax preparer, you want to go in a different direction, we can tell you where you can find Proctor & Associates. They are located on J.N. Peace Place in Charlotte. The website is proctortaxprep.com. You can also give them a call there at the number on your screen. And, of course, we've put all of this information on WBTV.com. All you have to do is look in the Web Extras section that is right there on the homepage. Tony Proctor, we appreciate your time tonight. Like we said, we know this is your busy season.
Yes, ma'am.
So thanks for making time for us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Absolutely. Want to get back to Delano.
And time to get